Good morning, Academia BSB learners. Welcome back.
We're here live, well, virtually live, on Tuesday, July 8th, 2025.
And we're ready to get into the latest from Academia BSB's English Conversations course.
That's right. Today, it's all about the recent class with Mia Rayleigh and Sophia, two really bright high school students focused on university and academic careers down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. And our goal here is to sort of unpack that lesson, look at the notes, and give you a clear path for your own B1 journey on the Common European Framework.
Exactly. Because hitting B1, it's more than just basic understanding, isn't it? It's about expressing more complex thoughts, handling, most real-world stuff.
Totally. It's like leveling up your communication skills for the global scene.
Yeah.
And we're going to do this Academia BSB style analytical, maybe a little witty.
Hopefully. Today, we've got a really interesting mix. We're looking at the power of passive forms in English, super important for academic work, and also the reading section, Crowned in Gold, which has some cool cultural angles.
Yeah, it does. We'll see how grammar shapes, meaning how vocab unlocks things. Maybe touch on some, sector jargon, and how this stuff plays out differently, say, in Brazil versus English-speaking contexts.
So settle in. Let's start with the grammar. Often seen as the boring part, but honestly, it's the foundation. Passive forms.
Right. The backbone, really. What was the main focus there from units 58 and 59?
The title was Passive Forms in English and Their Purposes. And the key takeaway isn't just how to make the passive, but why bother? When should you actually use it?
Okay. Like a strategic choice.
Exactly. For storytelling or keeping things objective, formal. Super useful.
Gotcha. So for our listeners, especially those around B1, let's maybe hit the main ones. Present simple passive.
Right. So active is makes, passive is made. You use it for general truths, habits, stuff like Gaelic football is played in Ireland. Yep. General fact.
Or the example, breakfast is served in the cafeteria. That's just what happens regularly.
Spot on. Then skipping ahead a bit for B1 essentials, the past simple passive. So made becomes was made.
Okay. For things that happened and finished in the past, especially when you don't know who did it or it doesn't matter.
Right, like the road was repaired. The point is the road, not the repair crew.
Precisely. Or the bridge was built last year. Focus on the bridge and the time frame.
Then there's the present perfect passive. That's has made versus has been made. This one feels a bit trickier.
It can be, yeah. Because the timing isn't always pinned down or the action still feels relevant now. He has been proclaimed leader.
So the proclaiming happened, but the leadership is current.
Exactly. And it's different from the past simple. Think about the new sports center has been inaugurated by the mayor. It implies, okay, it's open now. The result is here.
Whereas the sports center was inaugurated yesterday is very specific. Done. Past.
You got it. That distinction is key for precise communication.
And looking forward. The future passive with will.
Yeah, will make becomes will be made. Pretty straightforward for future stuff where the focus isn't on who will do it.
I don't think your proposal will be taken seriously. Ouch. Haha, yeah. Or, his book will be published next month. Focus on the book.
Oh, okay. And you also mentioned using get sometimes instead of be.
Right, more informal, conversational. Luckily, no one got injured in the crash. Sounds a bit more natural in everyday chat than was injured sometimes.
Interesting. So when students are, grappling with the passive, what's the biggest mistake you see? Is it just forming it or knowing when?
It's often, I think, a mix. A big one is trying to stick to the active voice even when it sounds awkward because you don't know the who. Makes the writing clunky.
Right.
And yeah, definitely messing up the to be verb with the past participle. Seeing an active question like, did Marconi invent the telephone? And then freezing on how to make it passive.
Was the telephone invented by Marconi?
Exactly. It takes practice to automatically focus on the thing receiving the action.
And how does this compare, usage-wise, say formal writing in the U.S. versus maybe how people chat in Brazil? Is there a difference?
Oh, huge difference. In English academic or scientific writing, the passive is your friend. It sounds objective. The experiment was conducted, not we did the experiment. It removes the researcher, focuses on the work. In Portuguese, in Brazil, while passive exists, everyday conversation often defaults to active voice, sometimes using impersonal subjects. So learners might naturally try to force an active sentence in English where a passive would actually sound a much more idiomatic and appropriate for the context.
So it's adjusting to a whole different linguistic rhythm almost.
Totally. It's a cultural communication thing too, not just grammar rules.
Fascinating. It really shows how language works on multiple levels. Okay, I think we need a quick break. Simulated commercial break 1.
All right, we're back. Before the break, we were unpacking the passive voice, why it's used, key forms like present simple, past perfect, and future passive, plus that informal get passive, and how its usage differs culturally, especially in formal English versus maybe everyday Brazilian Portuguese.
Right. We talked about focusing on the action, not always the actor. Now, for a quick brain warm-up, how about a tongue twister, using some of those passive ideas or related words?
Let's try this. Properly proclaimed proposals propelled perfect rehearsals.
Ooh. Properly proclaimed proposals propelled perfect rehearsals. Okay, that requires some focus. Nice one. Now let's build on that foundation. Vocabulary and reading time. You need the words right.
You absolutely do, especially for university-level discussions. Let's look at the current class vocab list. First word, agreement.
Agreement. Yeah, like consensus, a deal, a mutual understanding. You hear it in business, law. They reached an agreement.
Okay, next. To proclaim.
To announce officially, declare publicly. Formal vibes. The king proclaimed a holiday.
Got it. Inauguration.
That's the official start, right? A ceremony, opening. You must see a lot of hotel inaugurations, Paulo. Big ribbon-cutting events.
Sometimes, yes. It's definitely jargon for a grand opening.
Yeah.
Next, anthology.
A collection, usually of literary pieces. Poems, stories, by different people, all in one book. Like a best-of compilation.
Novel.
Here, meaning the book type, not just new. A long fictional story.
Straightforward. Proposal.
A plan you put forward.
Yeah.
She wrote a research proposal, essential for academics, business.
Facilities.
The buildings, equipment, amenities for a purpose. The university has excellent sports facilities.
Rehearsal.
Practice session. For a play, a presentation, a dry run.
Okay. Repairment.
This one's a bit less common as a noun. It means the act of repairing. You'd more likely hear repairs or repair work, like the repairment took 3 days. Sounds a bit stiff. Maybe the repairs took 3 days.
To clarification, route.
A path, a way to get somewhere. Bus route, travel route, strategic route.
Injury.
Physical harm, damage, sports, accidents. You suffered a leg injury, issue.
This one's flexible. Can be a problem, a serious issue, a topic, the issue of privacy, or a version of something published, the latest issue of the magazine. Context is king. Very true. And that tricky set. Leader lacquer exec, later X leather.
Right. Leader, the boss. Letter, the second of two things. I prefer the latter option. Later time. See you later. Letter, the material. All about those vowel sounds and the D versus devious T.
Definitely need careful listening there. Okay, let's test these with some past class exercises. First one. John didn't for the community cleanup, but he enjoyed helping anyway.
That sounds like volunteer. He helped, but maybe didn't sign up formally.
Makes sense. When you have a friend to an event, make sure they receive a proper...
You invite them, and they get an invitation. Verb and noun.
Yep. The company had to, due to lack of funds.
Sadly, they had to shut down. Close.
After college, she had to have a parents' house and start paying Nara.
Growing up, move out, and pay bills.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Very. And last one. We hired a clet to help us with the cleaning and cooking.
A housekeeper.
Good. Now the odd one out type. First set. Trim, cut, shut, clip.
Okay, trim, cut, clip are about making something smaller. Shut is about closing. So shut is the odd one out.
Correct. Next. Charity, donation, rent, volunteer.
Charity, donation, volunteer relate to giving or helping. Rent is a payment for something, so rent doesn't belong.
Exactly. And salary, speech, paycheck, bills.
Salary, paycheck, bills are all money terms. Speech is about talking. Easy one.
Nicely done. Last quick round, fill in the blanks. She was upset by all the people were spreading online.
Context suggests maybe rumors or, wow, the list probably had bullshit. Now, quick note for everyone. Bullshit is very informal, quite vulgar, actually. Means nonsense, lies. You hear it, but you wouldn't use it in, like, an academic essay or formal email. Stick to rumors or misinformation there. Good to know, bad to use formally.
Excellent point on register. Next.
We had to pay before the electricity was turned off.
Gotta pay the bills. Universal truth.
Our cleans the house twice a week.
Our housekeeper.
And his is enough to cover his rent and groceries.
That's his salary. Okay. Vocabulary workout complete. Now let's shift gears to the reading and thinking section. The text was titled Crowned in Gold, From Royal Thrones to Rapper Crowns. Really interesting piece.
Yeah, Crowned in Gold reads title again with enthusiasm. It definitely makes you think about symbols, right? Like, what does a crown even mean anymore? You've got kings and queens, but then rappers talking about their crowns.
Exactly. It explores that shift, the inherited power of a royal crown, centuries of history, versus this modern idea of a rapper crown, symbolizing maybe wealth, influence, success you built yourself. It's about how symbols get, like, repurposed.
See, I read it a bit more cynically, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's cool a rapper can claim a crown through talent and hard work, not birth. But isn't it still kind of the same game, still about being on top, having more, being exclusive? Just looks different. Maybe more gold chains, less ermine.
I see what you mean about the status symbol aspect remaining. But I think the source of that status is fundamentally different, and that's the point. Royal power is inherited, passive almost, aristocracy. The rapper's crown, even metaphorically, represents agency, hustle, overcoming odds. It's supposedly merit-based talent, connection with an audience.
Supposedly. But is it really meritocracy if the symbols are still about extreme wealth and, separation from the masses? It feels like it just swaps one elite for another, maybe one that's better at marketing itself. The underlying structure of few rule, the many, doesn't necessarily change.
But the narrative changes dramatically. A kid growing up with nothing can aspire to be like Jay-Z in a way they could never aspire to be King Charles. The possibility, the narrative of self-creation is democratized, even if the outcome is still hierarchical. It's a rejection of the old bloodline system, a product of a different cultural value set. It reflects a shift in who we grant status to, even if status itself still involves being above.
So you're saying the story behind the crown matters more than the crown itself? That how you got it inherited versus earned is the real revolution here.
I think that's a huge part of it, yeah. It forces us to question what legitimacy and power mean today. Is it blood? Is it wealth? Is it influence? Is it talent? The text leaves that open, which is why it's interesting.
Okay. That's a fair point. Definitely makes you think about modern status symbols. Let's pause there. Quick break. Needed. Simulated commercial break 2. And we are back. Before that break, we got into a pretty lively discussion about crowns, power, and status, sparked by the Crowned in Gold reading, comparing royal lineage with self-made rapper crowns.
Yeah, and we also loaded up our vocabulary toolkit with words like proclaim, inauguration, anthology, facilities, and navigated those tricky sound-alikes like leader and ladder. Now another tongue twister to keep us sharp. Numerous novels navigated narrow narratives rivaling robust poetry.
Wow. Numerous novels navigated narrow narratives, rivaling robust poetry. Getting tougher. All right, let's tune our ears with pronunciation guidance. Knowing the word is half the battle, saying it right is the other half.
Couldn't agree more. Let's look back at the past class, tricky words first, that infamous pair. Through versus though.
Ugh, yes. Through, like going through something strong, ooh sound, T-H-R-W. Though, like even though, soft O sound, T-H-O-H. Same letters, different sounds. Classic English.
Then wobbly, like something unstable, way H-blee, short O.
And definitely, stress on def, definitely, not definitely, LB. That middle I is super short, almost swallowed.
Right. Unconsciously, big word. Stress on con, unconsciously. And that C is a she sound.
Yep. And the other, of pair, enough and tough. Both end with that of sound. Enough, tough. No O or ow sound there.
Mastering those really helps smooth out your speech. Now for the current class pronunciation list. First, rival.
Long I sound, RY of, they were rivals for the prize.
Arrived.
Short I, arrived. The package arrived late. Compare rival and arrived. Different I's.
Poetry.
3 syllables. Poetry. Not poetry. She reads poetry.
Winner.
Short I, winner. The winner gets a trophy.
Habitual.
Stress on bit. Habitual. That too often becomes chew. A habitual action.
Identical.
Stress on den. Identical. The twins are identical.
Cafeteria.
Stress on tier. Cafeteria. Long word, clear syllables. Lunch in the cafeteria.
Announced.
Met ow like ow. Announced. They announced the results.
Unexpectedly.
Long one. Stress on peck. Unexpectedly. Break it down. Unexpectedly easy.
And the verb set choose, chose, chosen, vowel change.
Right. Choose present. Long oo like food. Chose past. Long o like boat. Chosen participle. Also long o. You choose now. Yesterday you chose. You have chosen wisely. The spelling's tricky, but the sounds shift clearly.
Excellent examples. Now let's put this all together in speaking training. This is where theory meets practice.
Okay, I'm ready. Let's hear the full text. Pay attention, everyone, to those highlighted words and how they sound in the flow of the story.
Reads clearly and expressively. In the crowded cafeteria, where the announcement of a poetry contest winner had just been announced, an unexpectedly cruel rumor was spread. By the time the truth arrived, damage had already been done. The two identical best friends, once inseparable, had become bitter rivals. A secret about who had chosen to enter the contest alone instead of as a team had been told in whispers without care. That story, twisted and shared out of envy, had not only been believed, but had also been habitually repeated. Although the situation could have been resolved, no apology was ever chosen. In the end, trust was the real prize that had been lost, and no poem, trophy, or applause could fix what had been broken by gossip's passive clause.
Wow. Quite the drama in the cafeteria. But you can really hear how those words, cafeteria poetry, winner, announced, unexpectedly arrived, identical, rivals, chosen, habitually, could, chosen, stand out. And hearing them helps contrast, like the vowel in winner versus rivals. It's all about practice.
Exactly. And notice that ending gossip's passive clause. It loops right back to our grammar theme. The passive voice lets the gossiper hide, emphasizing the rumor itself, the damage done. Very clever.
It all ties together. Okay, one more break, I think.
Yeah.
Simulated commercial break 3.
Welcome back. We just worked through pronunciation, contrasting tricky sounds, and hearing key vocabulary in the context of that rather dramatic cafeteria story, and saw how language elements connect, even linking back to the passive voice.
Yeah, those passive claws of gossip. Now, for our final tongue twister, unexpectedly, identical individuals in the crowded cafeteria chose habitually.
Oh my. Unexpectedly identical individual in the crowded cafeteria chose habitually.
That's a mouthful. Okay, let's move into practical application with language usage, using phrases naturally in conversation.
Right. These are useful tools. First one, main role.
Simple but important. Means the primary function or purpose. What's the main role of this committee, or the main role of education is, you get the idea.
Next. How would you describe that? Love this question. It invites detail, opinion. That was an interesting movie. How would you describe that feeling it left you with? Great conversation starter.
Definitely. And I'm not quite sure.
Essential polite phrase. Instead of just, I don't know, which can sound a bit blunt, I'm not quite sure, softens it. Shows you've thought about it, but maybe don't have a firm answer. Very common in professional or academic chats.
Okay. Want to try a quick role play with these?
Sure, you start.
Okay. So, Paulo, thinking about influencers today, what do you see as their main role in shaping, like, travel trends?
That's a good one. Their main role, I think it's shifting. It used to be just showcasing destinations, but now, how would you describe that? Maybe it's more about authenticity or trying to be authentic. I'm not quite sure it's always successful, though.
See, perfect. Natural flow. Now, idiomatic expressions. The notes mention this section, but didn't list specific idioms for this class. Still crucial, though, right?
Oh, absolutely vital. Idioms are, the heart of fluency sometimes. Phrases like bite the bullet or get cold feet. The meaning isn't literal. You can't just translate them from Portuguese like ficar como frio. It doesn't work the same way. Understanding idioms is key to really getting native speakers and sounding natural yourself. So even without specific examples today, Miralee and Sophia know this is a constant focus area.
Good point. Next, writing. The essay part of the course.
Right. The focus here is the process. Drafting, getting feedback, revising. We look at the first draft. The initial ideas then provide constructive criticism, focusing on structure, argument, grammar, vocabulary use. Then students create a second draft. It's iterative.
It's about learning to refine your thoughts and express them clearly on paper. And we always encourage students, once they have a polished final version, to think about publishing it on the Academia BSB students blog, students.AcademiaBSB.com.br blog. It's a great motivator.
Definitely. Okay, then we have listening and comprehension.
Super important. You can know all the words, but if you can't follow a real conversation or a news report.
Exactly. This section is about exposure to authentic materials. Not just textbook dialogues, but real news, podcasts, conversations between native speakers, different accents, training your ear for the real world.
And building on that is watching and understanding.
Yeah, adding the visual element, watching movies, series, news clips in English. It connects the language to body language, cultural context, real situations. It makes the learning much more sticky, more memorable.
It's like immersion, but from your couch. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, from passive voice to wrapper crowns to pronunciation, pitfalls. Before we sign off, let's talk about Mireli and Sophia's progress.
They're doing great, honestly. Both are really engaged and making solid strides towards that B1 level. You can see their understanding of grammar, like the passive voice we discussed, getting stronger, and their vocabulary is definitely expanding.
Yeah, they're sharp. Any particular challenges still?
Well, like most learners at this stage, really internalizing idiomatic language takes time. And sometimes getting the nuances of pronunciation consistently right across all new words is tough. But that's normal. They're building a really strong foundation.
Absolutely. And, just a gentle, friendly nudge to Mireli and Sophia and everyone listening. Remember the Academia BSB way. Doing the homework, reviewing these notes, practicing. It's not just busy work. It's how you build mastery. It really makes a difference.
It truly does. And speaking of reviewing, make sure you check out the detailed PDF notes on the passive forms before the next session. The links are
Perfect. And get ready, because the upcoming linguistic scope is shifting to environmental issues. So, Paulo, are you prepared to discuss, say, the rhetoric surrounding renewable energy policies?
Are you ready to analyze how different news outlets frame the issue of deforestation using specific vocabulary and, yes, maybe even the passive voice to deflect agency?
Ooh, game on. That sounds like a challenging and really relevant topic. Looking forward to it. All right, let's take just a moment here as we wrap up.
Thinking back on today's discussion, grammar, power, symbols, communication, it really underscores how language operates on so many levels.
It really does. How the way we structure a sentence, the words we choose, it all shapes meaning and perception.
It makes me think about how crucial language awareness is. The reason we do this is perfectly captured by our Academia BSB philosophy.
Say it with me. It is not only about the language, it is all about communication. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Keep practicing, keep questioning, and keep talking. Until next time.